Alright, so we'll be working on some more standing still and waiting for me, and then doing some leading as well. So I have my target. I'm just going to bring her in front of the camera so we can see. And then reinforce her for standing still and waiting. I am talking to the camera, but it got really windy and you could not hear me, so I'm just going to voice over instead. So she's standing still, nice and relaxed. This is really good, so I could have reinforced her there. There. She was standing still, nice and relaxed, had her head low, had it the height that I wanted it, so I clicked and reinforced. Then she's kind of like, I didn't reinforce fast enough, so now she's like, maybe I should do a different behavior. She's just kind of gonna offer some behaviors if I'm not like fast enough or haven't built up enough time to where she stands in one position. So you can see she touched the target and then she had a couple seconds, and then I reinforced. Like I could have definitely added more clicks and feeds in there. And again, you're going to want to start like she stands still, like you count 1 second, click feed, then 1 second, click feed, then 2 seconds, click feed, then 3 seconds, and so on and so on. And here I have like multiple seconds. So let's see, we'll click and feed here, and then see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13-ish seconds. So that's a long time, and it doesn't sound like a long time, but like when you're trying to build duration on a behavior and make it to where the horse can stand still for a long period of time, you got to start small. And if you don't, that's where all those like unwanted behaviors come in. So she's staying still, and then I have 13 seconds in between. Like with Castor, he had a lot of head turning. He would turn and look at me, he would turn and look away. He would, and little Sebastian does that as well, my mini horse. He'll turn his head back and forth, and he's gotten those behaviors in between because I didn't build up duration in a way where it was just stand still for 1 second, and then 2, then 3, then 4, and then none of those other behaviors had a chance to get in there. So that is really important to pay attention to. So this is not necessarily like a how-to, this is like a how not to specifically, because I have too much time in between reinforcing. So she's standing still and she's giving me the behavior that I want. I'm just not building it up in a way that she understands. Because again, here's multiple seconds before I have her target again. So like that time was 5 seconds before I reinforced. Like it should be 1, you can do 1 3 times good, and then 2 3 times, and then 3 times, and so on. So, and the horse doesn't know what you're doing, so you have to be very specific and understand that you need to be very clear to them, because they don't know. This is better because I'm feeding faster at a faster rate. I'm doing about 5 seconds every time in between, so this is better than before. Yeah, so it's pretty consistent here. And then like really, like this is fine, like she's not throwing in any other behaviors, but other horses might definitely like the other 2 horses that I mentioned, they threw in other behaviors really quickly. So even 5 seconds could be too long for them, but for her right now, like it's fine, even though I'm not doing this perfectly. But I want like you guys to understand why those other behaviors happen, because it was very frustrating for me. I did not understand why. So, and I'm like changing it up a lot too. Like sometimes I have her target, sometimes I have her like there she flexed to the side and targeted, sometimes she just stood still. Like I need to be putting a cue on these things too, so that she understands like she's doing this behavior versus another, and there's just more clarity for her, because there's really not. And like for her, like she's pretty good at just standing in between and just waiting. Other horses are not. Like Castor was not. Like he had to be doing something all the time. So that could be a problem as well. So I need to have a standstill here with me cue, and then obviously presenting the target could be a cue, but my biggest flaw here was not giving a cue to the standstill behavior, the default behavior, whatever you want to call it. Adding a cue to that's going to be really important. So you just stand there, stay whoa. You could have like an arm signal cue, which I teach the Mustangs later on, because I did Mustang Maddie's course, which she has like you hold your other arm with your right arm over your left arm kind of a thing, and that's their cue to stand still. You could have whoa, like I teach them like a forehead cue to stand still or stay later on. So just make sure you have that too, so it's very, very clear to your horse what it is that you want. So that's just an important part of posture reinforcement for sure. So I'm just having her target in different areas, and she's doing well with that. Like, she's following the target. She doesn't have any problem with that. Um, she seems pretty confident in that and understands what it is that I'm asking as far as the targeting goes. So really, I don't need to do a lot more of like turning this target side to side or having her follow it. She's got that down. So just like I said in her other videos, I was like doing too much. Like, I was like, oh, well, this isn't perfect, so let's work on it until it does. But then the horse gets sour or anxious, and then we're just working on the same thing forever, and both of us are frustrated. So she's ready to move on. She can go do other things. Like, she can be lunging and doing all kinds of stuff. So going over poles, whatever it is that I want her to do. She doesn't need to be just like flexing side to side and doing a couple steps with the target. She's way past that. So that's just a me flaw, not a her flaw. So I think she thinks I'm asking her to back up, but I'm asking her to turn and face the other way. That's totally fine. It's not a big deal. There we go. Now she figures it out. And like just little steps there. Like, I asked her to go the other way. She just kind of flexed and touched it. I rewarded that. Then she took a step. Then she took another step. Like, I like that very slow, methodical turning instead of like she's going really fast the other way. But yeah, she's got this targeting thing down. So I don't think we need to do any more baby steps with that with her. And she could have a cue here so that she knows what she's supposed to be doing. That she very well could have been just like throwing in behaviors there while I was just talking or standing or doing whatever. So she wasn't, but a lot of horses do, and she does sometimes. Like, she just didn't today.